The Kidpower International Safety Signs were created to help people who were working with people who had very limited speech due to developmental disabilities, or because they were just learning to speak, or because of other reasons, so that they would remember our skills and that they would be able to use them in a very simple and consistent way. We were finding that when people were trying to teach safety skills or discuss safety issues, they were using different languages, sometimes literally. Sometimes at home it was Spanish, and at the place where they were getting cared for it was in English, and someplace else it was in another language. And often, even if everybody was speaking English, they were still using different words for the same ideas. So the idea is that we can take simple gestures and use them to help people remember core safety skills. And then we can turn those into practices and social stories that people can use in their day-to-day lives. This set of safety signs are what we call the Kidpower Safety Powers for taking charge of your feelings and your body. Because when we feel upset, these are safety powers to help us to calm down and make wise choices that are safe for everyone. First of all, when you get really upset, it's normal to get triggered. Getting triggered might look like getting angry and going, hey! It might look like getting sad and going, ouch! It might look like freezing and going, ah! And it might look like other ways. But the point is that when you're upset and you can't think clearly, it's hard to make wise choices for yourself. So when you feel yourself getting upset, the first important safety skill is calm down power. And we show it like this: to squeeze your palms of your hands together, straighten your back, take a breath and let it out again. And that will help you to calm down. You can use this safety sign when somebody has difficulty with losing their temper, and you can practice outside of that situation by reminding them, let's pretend that you got really upset and just go, ah, like that. Now, use your calm down power. Squeeze your palms together, straighten your back, take a breath, and calm down. The next safety sign is mouth closed power. Now you can't say mouth closed power and do it at the same time because it's just squeezing your lips together like this. I like to say that my husband and I don't have arguments anymore. We just use our mouth closed power. But that's not quite true. Anyway, when you are safe with your mouth, whether it's you're not going to bite, you're not going to stick your tongue out at somebody, you're not going to lick somebody when you shouldn't, you're not going to eat something you shouldn't, and you're not going to say something you shouldn't. And you can practice this by pretending that somebody's about to do something unsafe with her or his mouth and go, ah, like that. And then say, now let's go, ah, we're going to do something unsafe. No. We're going to use our mouth closed power and go like this. The next safety sign is hands and feet down power. This is when you feel like touching or something with your hand or your foot, and it's not a good idea. For example, suppose you felt like pushing somebody. Instead, when you really feel like pushing, it can take a lot of power to put your hands down. Suppose you feel like touching something you shouldn't, or someone you shouldn't. It's okay to feel like doing something, but it doesn't mean it's always okay to do it. And so if you feel like touching someone or something and you think maybe you shouldn't, then your job is to use your hands down power. Feet down power works the same way. Instead of kicking someone, you put your foot down. Instead of tapping against the back of someone's chair and annoying them to death, you glue your foot to the floor. One of our most famous safety signs is trash can power. Imagine that this hole is a trash can, And the next time somebody says something hurtful to you, or you say something hurtful to yourself, instead of letting it go in your heart or your head where it can get stuck for a really long time, imagine that you catch those hurting words, throw them in the trash, and say something good to yourself. So for example, suppose I said something really hurtful. Now remember, I'm pretending so we can practice. I don't really mean this. But suppose I said, I don't like you. Instead of getting upset, you can catch those hurting words, I don't like you, throw them away, and say, I like myself. That's trash can power. Heart power helps us remember to protect our hearts, to use our hearts when we are upset with somebody, to remember that we care about them if there's someone important to us, and to put love first. I remember when I was practicing heart power with a group of adults who were having trouble sometimes with being mean to them, each other. And they said, next time I'm going to ask myself, what would love do? And I'm going to make choices with that in mind instead of letting all my upset feelings about someone get in the way.